Okay, so I think this is about the third video that I've made um, about Python, about some of the basics. Previously, I think we looked at how to install Python. That's only for your home computers. It's not going to work in school. I also talked about, excuse me, how to get input and output. Now, ordinarily, when I teach Python, I do variables first, but I thought actually input and output is quite valuable. And even though the way I demonstrated it, I did use a variable, I think that it starts to give things a little bit more context this way around. Anyhow, a variable. A variable is kind of a space in the computer, a virtual space that you're going to save some information. Okay. If you prefer, it's kind of a way of saying we're going to have an identifier for this piece of information. Now, if that doesn't make sense, I'm going to reiterate it again in a minute because it might make a bit more sense with something actually written on the screen. So, variables. Variables, typically, they appear in black. Certainly they do in Python. If they appear in any other color, that means you've used some sort of keyword which you can't use as a variable. For example, you can't use the word list. It sort of comes out purple, can't have that. It doesn't like you using things like and, or true, or false for that matter. They tend to come out in funny colors if you type them in the right case. Anyway, there are a few no words, but they'll make themselves obvious to you. And if you write something and it's not black, it's not for you. Okay. That said, you can use things like I don't know, list of items. That would be fine. It would be fine with that. But as I say, like something like list would just be in there. Now, when we are saving things, we want the information that's going to go into this variable to be well described. So if we were going to make a variable that was going to contain some names, we might call it name. If we were going to make a variable that contains some ages, we might call it age. And if we were going to make a variable that was going to contain like the number of pets that you have, or I don't know, your height, we might give it a name that's descriptive of that. So we'll go with pets. Now, after the variable, after we have defined the variable, which is essentially what this is, we've said this is what this variable is going to be called. We always say equals. Okay. Now there are instances in Python where you'll say double equals, but this is just plain equals, just the one time. And then the simplest thing that we can do is put something in there. So in this case, I'm going to put a name. I'll put my name, why not? I'm going to put an age, and I might put, I don't know, the name of my pet. I could have put the number of pets that I have, or what my pet is, but I'm going to give the name of my pet just for now. Now you'll notice that I have written these in different ways. The number 30, I've just written 30, and Martin and Reggie, I've written inside of speech marks. There is a reason for that. For now, just accept it and copy it. We'll get onto that sort of stuff later. So that is the simplest way that we can define a variable. We have a variable, and it has something inside of it. Okay, and we can get that information out. We know a little bit about output, so we can use the output. We can use the term that we use for output in Python, print, and we could call any of those variables. So I could say names, I could run this program, it'll ask me to save it, and it'll print out my name. Okay. We could make it a bit more interesting. We could say things like input, oops, what is your name? We've seen this sort of stuff before. And I could run that. What's your name? Ask me a question. I'm going to say Martin. It's going to print that out. We could pull all this information together inside of a sentence. Okay, so I could say something like, I don't know. Your name is, comma, names, comma, you are, comma, age, comma, years old, and you have a, I don't know, we'll say pets, sorry, comma, pets, oh, go down in a second, pets, and we can just call it there. Maybe I'll change it from Reggie to cat. Okay, so if I run this now, hopefully we won't have any problems with it. Say, what is your name? Ask me that question. Your name is Martin, you're 30 years old, and you have a pet cat. Now obviously there are some grammar errors in there, but you can see how these variables have been used as part of that sentence. And there's lots of things like that that you can do in Python. You can store bits of information in one place and then recall them in another, and that's what variables allow you to do. Okay? There is an important thing to point out here though, I suppose. This top one is a variable in the truest sense of the word, as in it doesn't matter how many times this program gets run. If somebody different is using it, this will always be different because somebody has the opportunity to enter a piece of information. However, these variables here, they will often be described as constants. They're constants within the program because they can't be changed once the program is running. Okay, so I could run this again, and I could put in, rather than my name, I could put in the name Bill. Okay, and just now it says your name is Bill, so there's variation there. But Bill is also 30, and Bill also has a pet cat. That could be coincidence, but we know that he doesn't get the opportunity to actually change it. So those bits of information are constant. They can't be changed once the program is run. Okay. Hopefully that has given you a little bit of an idea about what variables are for, what they're like and what they do, and hopefully it will help you answer the questions in the book. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.